Alrighty, everybody, good evening and welcome to Relive Sports. This is our presentation of Duke versus Florida State, rather, Florida State versus Duke. Welcome in on this beautiful Monday afternoon. I hope everybody has had a lovely, absolutely lovely weekend, especially after the win in Chapel Hill. I woke up Sunday morning and basically woke up to Cascadas every time we touch, and that was the mood all of Sunday as we did our post-game analysis and our post-game show as well. And now rolling in here to Monday, a tough matchup. Well, we welcome in number 8, Florida State, to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Duke finally getting a home game after 3 tough road games in the ACC. The first one against Syracuse, a win. The next one against Boston College, a terrible shooting performance by all accounts, but our Blue Devils toughed it out. And then to cap it all off, the evening in Chapel Hill on Saturday, the come from behind win, the double buzzer beater, a game unlike any perhaps that we have ever seen. Sports Drama, good evening to you in chat. Let's go Duke. Absolutely. We are ready to roll here. We are going to bring you the play-by-play and the color commentary and perhaps show selective parts of the game. We try to be very careful so as not to get into any trouble. But if crazy plays happen, or we definitely like to bring you the replays so that you and I and everybody in chat, we can all react to it together. And this is all what it means to be Duke fans. Okay, so Duke welcoming in Florida State here. Florida State has been a bit of a nemesis for our Blue Devils. They always seem to give us a tough game, whether we play them in Tallahassee, whether we play them in Cameron. I remember personally back in 2012, this is a painful memory. Back in 2012, when we were playing uh, Florida State, it was a game in Cameron, and I was there with my buddies. We were in the Cameron student section, and one of them turns to me and says, "You know, Ritz, I haven't seen a really good buzzer beater here in Cameron in like forever, or just like at all." And I was like, you know what? I'm sure at some point we're going to get one. Lo and behold, we got one that night. It wasn't our buzzer beater, it was Florida State's buzzer beater. All right, so that was a very depressing end to that game back in 2012. However, we have had the better of Florida State of late. Duke 40-10 all time against the Seminoles, 21-2 in home games here in Cameron Indoor. I guess it just so happens that I was part of one of the two, so there was some bad luck there. Who knows? In which case, especially Duke also coming off 2 wins from last year. Let's recall that as well. A tough Florida State squad. We went into Tallahassee with R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, Trey Jones, and Zion Williamson and got out there with a win, despite the fact that Zion did not play in the second half. Remember, it got poked in the eye, had to sit out for the entire of the second half. Cam Reddish comes in, delivers the knockout blow, the buzzer beater at Florida State. Personally, I felt like that was a bit of a revenge for what they did to us back in 2012. So, karma. All right, and then the rematch in the ACC Championship, of course, with Zion back on the court on that one. Duke ends up winning that by 10 points and goes on to win the ACC Championship. And a sports drama, I absolutely agree. We absolutely need this win. Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron crazies in chat. This is what is at stake. These two teams are tied for second place in the ACC. Duke has already lost to Louisville, who is in the top position, and we are now underway here from Cameron Indoor Stadium. The tip-off going to Florida State. And Gray now with the ball here as we start. The first possession for the Seminoles is going to be a three-pointer that rattles in and then rattles out. No good for Florida State. Rebound down to Trey Jones, and Trey Jones now going to bring the ball up the court, trying to get the offense going. Players on the floor for the Blue Devils: Trey Jones, Vernon Carey, Jordan Goldwire, Cassius Stanley, and Wendell Moore are starting 5 here. For Florida State, it'll take us a second to learn their names, as we'll make sure to get that there for the second half. A turnover by Trey Jones results in possession for Florida State as they come down to the Duke end of the floor, and it is deflected. The pass deflected out of bounds, and Florida State will inbound underneath here. But as I was saying, we absolutely need this win. It is critical because of the tiebreaker situation. Duke does not want to be in a position where it has lost both tiebreakers to both Florida State and Louisville. Remember, only the top two teams will get the double bye come ACC tournament in about a month's time. Florida State driving there, and Vernon Carey picks up his first foul at the 19:05 mark as Florida State drives in here. That was Trent Forrest. Just beats his man off the dribble, and Vernon Carey forced to come over to try and help, and unfortunately unable to do so in time. So we have our first foul on Vernon Carey, who had, despite the 18 points in the first half at Carolina, did foul out of that game with 0 points in the second half. So he did all his damage in the first. I'm hoping for a bit more consistency tonight out of Vernon Carey. Florida State makes its first 2 free throws there. And coming down here, Wendell Moore now bringing the ball up the court for the Blue Devils. Wendell, the hero of the night over in Chapel Hill, in addition to Trey Jones. High screen here by Carey. Trey Jones decided not to take it. Instead, it becomes a Cassius Stanley three-pointer, which comes up short. Rebound to Forrest for Florida State. Now driving up the court. Florida State Forrest going baseline right now. Little around the world, doesn't really know where to send it. Now Forrest for 3 points from the outside, in and out. Shot doesn't go for Florida State. So Florida State's 2 3-pointers so far tonight have not fallen. Duke still has looking for its first possession. Trey Jones going to get the first possession there. Nice lay-in with the left hand, picking up right where he left off from the Carolina game. Those kinds of drives looks exactly like what he did in Carolina. Beautifully done by Trey Jones. Now Florida State's Walker being guarded by Cassius Stanley. Osborne out there to Gray, and Gray shoots a 3, and no good, but the long rebound after a couple Blue Devil deflections ends up in the hands of Florida State, and that ball ends up out of bounds actually on the baseline. Florida State will inbound the ball. It's got a replay there of Trey Jones. It's a little too quick for me to show you all. I do have my hotkeys ready for that in the future, though, when the good plays do end up happening. Florida State inbounding here. Inbound is to Walker, being guarded by Goldwire. Screened by Osborne. Walker decides to take the 3. Can't get it to go. Florida State 0 for 4 from three-point range so far to start the game. And Goldwire looking for Carey down low. Florida State in a bit of a zone defense, actually. Goldwire to Carey. Nice look. Carey trying to go up with it. Gets fouled. Shot is no good, but Carey has earned himself a trip to the free throw line as Florida State attempted to defend that. I believe the foul will go on Osborne. Wanted to take this opportunity just to welcome in all the Blue Devil fans, or perhaps FSU fans in the chat tonight. We are in for one heck of a matchup. Number 8 Florida State against number 7 Duke here in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Carey's first shot from the free throw line falls, and that is good. 3-2 here, Blue Devils in the early going. And Carey now looking for the second. And yes, he does end up making that one. So 4-2 Blue Devils, 17:42 on the clock. 1 foul for each team. Cameron Crazies in full attendance tonight, which is beautiful to see. We've had a bit of back and forth between alums and Crazies. A couple articles in the student newspaper there commenting on perhaps the lack actually of student attendance of late, but Cameron Crazies representing tonight. The turnover there for Florida State gives the ball to the Blue Devils. Unforced turnover, really. Vernon Carey now coming up. A little horn set here. Both Wendell and Carey setting screens at the top. Trey Jones hands it over to Cassius Stanley. Florida State back in its man-to-man defense. Cassius Stanley working. Cassius Stanley in the paint. Cassius Stanley driving, goes to the rim, gets fouled. Beautiful move off the dribble by Cassius Stanley. The explosiveness there on display. Yeah, so Carey, actually, sports drama. So Carey, in terms of consistency, he actually has been relatively consistent throughout the season. Perhaps the consistency that we like to see is not 18 points in one half and then 0 in the next half. I think what we need to see is perhaps, go ahead and score 18 points, but maybe give us another 5 or 6 at least in the second. The whole putting up a goose egg in one half is definitely not consistent, right? But he does have his share of double-doubles, that's for sure. So we can get into some of those stats a little later or during one of the timeouts now. Cassius Stanley only makes one of two free throws, so that's 5-3 Blue Devils as Florida State charging in there. The shot is short by Florida State, and then Cassius Stanley actually Stanley's shot is blocked there. Okay, I had to. Number 15 on Florida State has a bit of a long final last name. Olinichuk. There we go. I had to look at the pronunciation guide to actually make sure I got that one right. That was Olinichuk there with the block, and Trey Jones's inbounds pass is deflected. Florida State collects and results in a turnover for the Blue Devils. Low scoring so far. Neither team really finding that much of a rhythm. Javin DeLaurier in the game, and that shot by Florida State should result in a turnover. Yes, they do. That was a turnover. Traveling is the call for Florida State, which I would have been really angry at the refs if they didn't. Olinichuk collected the rebound, but then was falling backwards. He was hoping for a foul, but that is absolutely a travel call. So more Trey Stanley, Javin, and Goldwire on the court. Looks like Vernon going to get a bit of a rest before the under 16 timeout. Trey Jones going to go up for a mid-range jump shot, and that shot is just a little long for Trey. Doesn't quite fall. Going the other way here is Florida State, and there's Forrest. Forrest hands it off. Hands it off to Walker. Walker long two rather. Rebound down to Florida State's Vassell, who's fighting for with Javin. Going to be called a jump ball. Possession arrow going to give it to the Blue Devils. Great hustle down low by Javin DeLaurier. Well done there, and it is 16 on the clock. Will we go to the media timeout? Florida State there, the stat 0 for 7 from the floor, 2 turnovers. Florida State has yet to make a shot. There are only 2 points coming on a pair of free throws earlier in the half. Duke not having its best shooting performance. Let's go to the stats here in a second as we have hit the under 16 timeout. There was a stat here on Vernon Carey to address the point in chat. Let me find it. Yeah, here it is. So the stat on Vernon Carey that we have is he's got 11 double-doubles this season. And they've each been 15 and 10 games. So 15 points and 10 rebounds at least. And 8 of them actually, so 8 of the 11 rather, have been 20 and 10 efforts, the second most among conference players. So when Carey goes, and our record is 21 and 3, so 24. So basically, like roughly half of the games, Vernon Carey is getting double doubles off of, which is incredibly impressive. But yeah, you would like to see him sort of sustain throughout the game. Good D so far. I agree. One of the things that I was talking with some of the folks posting comments on some of the videos that we made for UNC is that we wanted to see Duke, especially, so there may be some recency bias in this, is that we've had 3 really tough road games, but they do say that defense travels. So what we would like to see is that Duke really needs to get back to that type of defense that they were playing early on in the season, that really tough man-to-man. We used to, especially halfway through the season, at the halfway mark, we were saying, wow, this is like one of the best defensive Duke teams we've seen in a very long time. That didn't quite happen in the last couple. Well, at Syracuse, that was a high-scoring game. We were keeping teams under in the 60s consistently. Under 65 points. That was like a main stat for Duke. And at some point, we were also, or very early on in the season, 3 or 4 games in, basically forcing more turnovers than the other team was making shots. And so we would need to see Duke get back to that tough man-to-man. And as Chad has pointed out, they are getting back to that. Here, 0 for 7 for Florida State, a horrific shooting start for Florida State, and 2 turnovers. That Duke defense really getting back to it. And then, of course, the UNC fans went home Saturday crying. They go home crying, and we go sleeping warm in their tears. That's basically how it works. When you're during the Duke UNC rivalry. Just an incredible game. I've seen a lot of Duke UNC, and I've seen a lot of Duke UNC firsthand, and that was one of the most One of the crazier, ridiculous things I have ever seen. Yeah. Ready to resume here in Durham. They're showing the stats here of Tre Jones, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. First player in Duke history with that stat line since Michael Jordan. Wow. He had 18 points in the final 10 minutes and outscored all of UNC. UNC only had 16. Wendell Moore now driving in, kicks it out to Cassius Stanley. It's a drive and kick shot for Stanley. Stanley goes for 3. Nicely done for Cassius Stanley. 3 for Stanley in the corner, coming out of the under 16 timeout. Florida State 0 for 7 from the floor by 6 different players. So basically equal opportunity shot missing. And there Duke, oh boy, Duke called for a foul. I mean, we almost had a steal there. Anthony Polite. I think that's going to be Polite. I don't suppose he pronounces it Polite. Polite there. Inbounding now, Florida State's Walker. Being guarded by Cassius Stanley on the inbounds, gets it into Forrest, who's guarded by Tre Jones on the outside. Forrest, one of the 2 stars. That should have been an offensive foul against Forrest. Just discarded Tre Jones. Florida State puts up a 3. Still can't get it to go. 0 for 8 from the floor for Florida State. They can't buy a bucket right now. Not that we would want them to. I don't even know if we'd sell them a bucket, to be honest. 15 minutes to go here. Jordan Goldwire finds himself open in the corner for 3. Jordan Goldwire getting in on the action. Why not, fella? Yes, get that green light. Jordan Goldwire, who we haven't seen him shoot as much. He can, though. He can. My brother and I always have this back and forth where he's like, oh, Jordan Goldwire can't shoot. And I'm like, yes, actually, Jordan Goldwire can shoot. And he proves it right there. It's a timeout to Florida State, and Cameron is rocking. Let's check here if we get a replay. We will bring it back. We did not get a replay. We go straight to the commercial break. All right. Straight to the commercial break. And quick check here. I got my Gamecast up. Florida State's going to try to draw something up because they can't do anything right at the moment. And when Jordan Goldwire hit something, yeah, he actually did hit something. He can shoot. He has his moments, even though he missed that dunk over there in Chapel Hill, which was like, oh my god. He has these moments where he misses dunks, and you're like, wow. Wow, Goldwire. I can't believe he missed it. And then he has just beautiful moments where he just, hits threes like that. So, missed the wide open layup. I just brought that up. He missed the wide open layup. Florida State inbounding now. Now 0 for 8 after 7 players on Florida State's team have missed a shot. Here's Forrest. Give it to Walker. And Walker trying to drive into the paint. Walker going to take a shot. And finally, Florida State is going to get something to go. Wow. Wow. It took them 9 shots, and Florida State finally hit a bucket. All right. And Jordan Goldwire, lazy pass there, but this is going to be tipped, so Duke's going to recover it. And no, we're going to step on the end line, actually. Actually, I think Tre Jones might have thought that this ball was going to be a backcourt violation. It didn't actually end up going for it. Wow, okay. Vernon Carey back on the floor, so it's a turnover by the Blue Devils back to Florida State. 14-16 here on the clock. Florida State looking to inbound. Inbound is to Walker. Walker once again finds himself in the paint, gives it to Forrest, doesn't want to take the shot. Forrest driving, reverse lay-in. Reverse lay-in is good. Oh, man. Duh! Javelin. Apparently, chat, we need a proper Duke player name spell check. That's the next thing we need to build for this. Oh my goodness, Vernon Carey being double teamed down low. Actually, Florida State brought the Tipple team, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Wendell Moore, who tried to drive on his Florida State defender. I feel like we see at least one of those a game. About to All right, so 11-6 here, Blue Devils. Florida State has made its last 2 shots. Duke trying to lock it down on the defensive end. We haven't been shooting that well either, let's be real. And here's Florida State with a mid-range jump shot. That is way off. That is way too long. Easy rebound for Vernon Carey. Gives it back to Trey Jones. Brings it up the court. Trey Jones over to out. There's Matthew Hurt now in the game. Matthew Hurt, who needs a much better game than what he had at UNC. UNC had 3 fouls basically instantly in the first half. And then we basically didn't see them. Then he came in the second half, got his 4th foul. We didn't see him at all either. Vernon Carey, the double team. Vernon Carey, the pass to Cassius Stanley. Oh, what a beautiful 2-man game there on the right block. Vernon Carey out of the double team, passing it to Cassius Stanley, and Stanley delivers for the Blue Devils. What a beautiful play. My goodness. Forrest on the outside gives it back to Olinichuk. Olinichuk tries to go over Carey, and he does. Wow. Olinichuk ends up scoring here. Joey Baker down low. Joey Baker gives it to Matthew Hurt. Matthew Hurt now trying to go for 3. Swish it! Bang! Hurt for 3. That is good news for the Blue Devils. And Matthew Hurt now makes Duke 3 of 4 from the outside. Duke's 3 falling early and falling often here. Good news for the Blue Devils as Florida State drives in. That was Williams working on Hurt. Hurt needs to improve his on-ball defense because he got beat way too easy. Trey Jones going to go 94 feet. Olinichuk blocks him. And now Florida State on transition. Florida State, it's a hard foul. Nicely done. It's actually a good foul by Joey Baker, who saved a bucket there. Walker was driving hard to the rim. Yes, so sport. I would not go that far. We need to be a bit more supportive. We should be a bit more supportive of our players. Let's not go that far. But Javin, yeah, the fouls are an issue, and he doesn't have as consistent perhaps as games as we'd like him to, right? It'd be nice if Javin could come in and from off the bench and go like 8 points a game, 10 points a game. So. But he is a role player in the offense, and he does provide great defense, actually. And him and Jack White, both as captains, provide great defense when we need it. So in that regard, they are integral parts of the team, and the bench depth is something we haven't had in a long time as well. He's just uncoordinated. You could have said something similar about like Plumlee's. Like their footwork wasn't the best. Like honestly, they had to improve their footwork. And then like we got Okafor in 2015. You're like, wow, he's a footwork magician. Like holy cow, Okafor's footwork was well advanced for for a player in college. Alex O'Connell now in the game, passes outside to Hurt, gets his Florida State defender high in the air. Nice jump shot, yes! Jump shot by Hurt. The second 3-pointer is good. Matthew Hurt out on a mission tonight to prove that he can still shoot. Beautifully done, Matthew Hurt. 2 for 2 so far. And then a block on this end. That was clean. Matthew Hurt with a block on Williams. Hurt is locked and loaded and ready to go. The play by Matthew Hurt. I hope we get a replay here that we can show. Yes, I think we will. Here's Matthew Hurt. Matthew Hurt, we see, gets his Florida State defender to just go flying to Seminole there. Woo! Matthew Hurt from the outside, and then the block on the defensive end. Attaboy. Well done, Matthew Hurt. Beautiful stuff. Matthew Hurt there with the block. Three-pointer. So Matthew Hurt with 6 points right off the bat here. And yeah, so now that you mentioned Hurt's bad defense, we're just responding to chat here. It's probably why he didn't play that. Yeah, the matchups for UNC weren't really in his favor, and he may have just been out of it. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't feeling well or something. Who knows? Could be anything. Could be anything here. Let's do a quick stat check on the box score for all those listening in. We've got folks that sometimes use this as a bit of a radio call, don't always get the visuals, so we'll update you on the stats. Cassius Stanley here with 6 points. Matthew Hurt with 6 as well off the bench, including that one block that we just saw there at the end. Well done. Vernon Carey with 2. Trey Jones with 2, and Jordan Goldwire has contributed, hitting a 3 from the outside early. For Florida State, a very deep team. Leonard Hamilton's teams have always been very deep, and that's usually why they give us problems because they can just throw bodies at us and it doesn't matter. Duke's, on the other hand, for the last several years, we've been playing like 7, 8-man rotations max. This year, we're lucky to have a bit more flexibility, which is nice, where we can have, 9. We can go at least 9 deep this year. So Florida State, who started 0 of 9 from the field, has hit their last couple of shots here. Forrest with 4, Walker with 3. The players to watch from Florida State: Devin Castle leading the team, scoring 13.5 points on 5.3 rebounds. Trent Forrest on the as well, 11 points, 4.3 rebounds per game. And so far tonight, Forrest has 4, and Vassell has 0 actually. So Blue Devils doing well defensively there on the Seminoles. However, they've had 9 leading scorers this season. So, like, you're going to say, well, who are you going to take away from Florida State? Well, I don't know, like one of the 9. Usually there's like pretty easy, like, when you're going to play UNC, it's Cole Anthony and it's Garrison Brooks, right? When you're playing Louisville, it's not Ja Morant. Oh my gosh. It's, for some reason I wanted to say Ja Morant, and that is totally wrong. It's Nwora. Sorry, my apologies there. It's Nwora who you have to take away, right? The ACC's leading scorer, basically. So usually you know who it is you have to defend, and then you say, okay, Trey Jones, that's your assignment tonight. Trey Jones, one of the best on-ball defenders in the country. Here is this play earlier here. Cassius Stanley and Vernon Carey. They're going to do a little 2-man game here. You see Cassius going to pass it, and he's just going to dive straight in. His man goes to double team here. There's the pass, and watch his man. His man Forrest goes into double team Carey and just leaves him alone. No call on the help defense there. Ends up in an easy bucket by Stanley. It's just a beautiful play. Well designed and well executed. And this inbounds pass is just gifted to Joey Baker by Florida State. Goal wire. Oh my goodness, what a pass up ahead to Vernon Carey. Vernon Carey, and one down low. What a sequence. We will definitely show that highlight here in a second. My goodness, Vernon Carey down low. And are they going to call? Wait a sec. Is this going to be a foul? Hold on. Who's calling a foul on what? Wait, they waved it off? What? What ref? Oh my goodness. That was a horrific call. That was a highlight play, ladies and gentlemen, that just got waved off by the officials. I don't know what the officials are looking at. That is unbelievable. All right, Vernon Carey going to try it again. Pass outside to Baker. Baker's spinning in the paint. Gets it back to O'Connell. O'Connell's going to go the mid-range jump shot, and that is going to swish in. Wow, O'Connell and Baker just having a time there. I have no idea how that was a foul on Duke. That isn't... All right, well, just pick it up. Duke now with a 10-point lead here. Wow, all right. It's Patrick Williams there for Florida State. Can't get the shot to go. Florida State still has the poor shooting here with 10-20. And Cody, we can't show the game because it's on ESPN, and showing the game itself is not allowed. So we have to make do with what we have, which is just basically, yeah. So Alex O'Connell in low once again to Vernon Carey. And that should have been an and one. Oh, my goodness. That should have been a foul. Vernon Carey is not getting any calls at all tonight. Joey Baker, great defense there, and the ball out of bounds. Going to be called against the Blue Devils. No, actually, the officials are going to call a foul against Joey Baker. That is terrible too. Wow, that is terrible. That is really bad. This is horrible. Oh, they say he traveled? That is horrible. Florida State at the line now, shooting 2 somehow. The ball doesn't lie though, because he just missed the first one. Yikes. So it wasn't a foul call. It was a traveling call. Apparently, Vernon Carey got called for a travel. The travel never would have happened if he didn't get fouled. So I mean, if somebody goes on and pushes you in the back and you take 2 steps forward, that's not a travel. It's a foul. like what are you like what are you trying to pull here? Jeez. Oh, and the kid calling for a potential upset with Baylor. Boy, that would be something else. Florida State missed both free throws, by the way. So, again, the ball knows the truth. Refs trying to bail out Florida State, give them free points here. Not going to happen as Cassius Stanley drives into the paint, and it's a turnover for Cassius Stanley, unfortunately. Picked up by Florida State, and Florida State's Vassal going the other way. Florida State driving in, can't finish. Florida State with the rebound. Osborne, and Osborne is stolen. It's stripped by Javin. Great defense by Javin. Cassius Stanley now going the other direction. Had Wendell Moore. No, it's going to be a foul out on the floor. Cassius Stanley is fouled. Third team foul on Florida State. Yeah, people complaining Duke gets all the whistles. Right now, Duke with 5 fouls. Florida State with 3 fouls. I mean, there's a bit of a disparity here. There's a Wilkes fouling, Florida State's Wilkes fouling Cassius Stanley because there no shooting. Ball is just baseline out of bounds. The ball was almost deflected by Forrest, falls in the hands of Jordan Goldwire. Trey Jones now driving. Trey Jones over to Wendell Moore. Wendell, the Goldwire still on the 3-point line. Goldwire into the paint, backs back out to Wendell, and Wendell tries the mid-range jump shot, just rolls off the rim, unfortunately. But Javin, the great effort by Delorier. Another great effort by Delorier results in a ball that goes out of bounds against Florida State. Javin everywhere on the glass. Nicely done. Good hustle there. Trey Jones once again inbounding. Had an open Cassius Stanley, but didn't get him. Pass outside. Outlet pass to Cassius Stanley. Duke resetting the offense now. 20 seconds on the shot clock as Cassius Stanley hands it over to Goldwire. And over to Moore. Duke, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Somebody's got to make some offense here. Duke offense just doing a lot of passing outside, and Goldwire tries to drive in and turns into a turnover of Florida State's Forrest, who goes in transition and goes to lay in transition by Florida State. Wow, where's just like somebody like call a play? That was really bad. That was basically 40 seconds of Duke offense that went nowhere except into the floor with dribbling. Wendell Moore drives trying to go on the right side and results in another turnover. Boy, we need a bit of a timeout here. Nice strip by Trey Jones, though. Saves a bucket. Jones saves a bucket. Let's see if we have a replay here. There's the turnover by Goldwire, and here's Forrest going the other way. No, we don't want to see this one. That was unfortunate. Yeah, that's not what we wanted. Florida State's Gray now inbounding. And Florida State inbounds it to Forrest. 25 seconds on the shot clock. State looking to run some offense here. O'Connell in the game. Trey Jones, Matthew Hurt, Javin Delorier, and Cassius Stanley, the 5 on the floor for the Blue Devils. Florida State goes for 3, and Florida State's 3-pointer is good by Osborne. Okay, so now Duke only leads by 5 here. Need a bucket. Need some real offense. Haven't done much scoring here of late. High screen by Javin. Trey Jones still driving. Trey Jones tries to go up and gets fouled on his mid-range jump shot attempt, and we have hit the under 8 timeout. Yes, they finally called another foul on Florida State. So Trey Jones will be shooting 2 at the line when we come back from the timeout. Check on the stats here as we are at a break in the game. Florida State shooting a paltry 1 of 6 from 3-point range, and 6 of 19 from the field, which is the reason that is, credit Duke's defense, actually. They've been playing quite well on the defensive end, although we haven't been playing as well on the offensive end, and that is going to manifest itself in the turnover stat. 3 turnovers for Trey Jones so far, only 1 assist. Remember, Trey Jones, player averaging 6.6 assists per game, and his turnover margin, hold on, I have that one as well. The Trey Jones turnover margin It's failing me here in a sec. Yeah, assist to turnover ratio of 2.4. So with 6.6 assists per game, it's basically meaning that he's doing 6.6 assists and only 3 turnovers for the entire game. Currently, Tre Jones has 3 turnovers in 10 minutes. Not good there. Florida State's defense, credit to them for that. But Duke, just too many turnovers. Actually, Duke only has gotten off. We're shooting exceptionally well. 7 of 13, which is 54% from the field, which is much better than we did over in Carolina the other night. But Florida State's taking 19 shots. They're taking shots off of our turnovers. So those fast break shots really helping Florida State right now at the moment. And really just a lot of times the problem with turnovers is that, right, as Tom Izzo would say, it's turnovers to touchdowns. Turnovers, especially live ball turnovers, turn into easy runouts and transition offense for your opponent. Even when it's a dead ball turnover, however, that's still an opportunity that you had to score and didn't take it. So let's quickly do the math. If we're shooting 53% from the field and we had 8 turnovers, let's assume we only had 4. That's another 4 shots that we get to take, and you're making half of them. So that's another 2 makes. That's another 4 points. The game would now be 25 rather to 16. It's a 9-point lead instead of 5, right? So all this makes a difference here. Something to watch going forward, that turnover stat. And Duke doing decently well on the boards, 12 rebounds to 9 in favor of the Blue Devils. 5 steals for Florida State, of course, leading to those turnovers. And to Kid posting about next year's squad. I know we have a ton of recruits coming in as well. 5 stars, McDonald's All-Americans. Awesome stuff there. I actually think that I agree with as far as who's going to stay. Like O'Connell, Baker, Goldwire, yes. And Moore and Hurt. Actually, yeah, Hurt absolutely will. I could see Hurt definitely doing another year. Stanley, although not on your list, we could probably maybe want to know the way he's playing. And actually, as far as transfers go, Duke and transfers, really, I can't remember. Rodney Hood, right, was the last Duke transfer, like who came in as a transfer. It's like usually not a thing. And Tre Jones does manage to hit the 2 free throws as we are now back from the under 8 timeout. Skylark, don't worry about it. The whole fact that we're here on this stream cheering for our Blue Devils is probably jinx enough. So the more Go Dukes in chat isn't going to jinx it any more or less. I've already done that all for you. I will shoulder the blame. The Florida State shot is no good, as Duke's defense remains stout. And Duke now with an opportunity here coming down the court to make this. And this is O'Connell who's going to go for 3, but the shot is blocked, actually. His 3-pointer blocked. Run out now for Florida State, who tried an alley-oop but couldn't get it. Oh, Florida State denied on the alley-oop by themselves, actually. And now Duke on the other end here. Alex O'Connell driving. Alex O'Connell gets this back out to Tre Jones, who thought about the 3. Tre Jones will now take the 3, front iron here. His rebound now to Cassius Stanley. Great hustle by Stanley. Picked it up in and amongst 3 Florida State Seminoles. Now tries to get it to Javin. Turns into another turnover and make that 9 turnovers for the Blue Devils. And now Florida State trying to slow this down. Doesn't want to take the 3. No, they're just going to reset their offense here with Forrest up at the top. Forrest, and it's a kick ball, so we have a stoppage in play. I hope Stanley stays. I think all of us hope Cassius Stanley stays. My goodness, he's so electric. If Stanley stays, we winning a natty next year, but it wouldn't make sense. I mean, if Stanley, like, we could, this team could win it all this year too. So he gets his national championship, and then he can do whatever he would like. And that should have been a travel there, maybe for Florida State, as they convert for 2. Still a 5-point margin here in favor of our Blue Devils, who, this is the stat. We have made 0 field goals in the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds of game time. Since about the 11-minute mark, rather, we've gone cold from the field. So despite our hot shooting start, the turnovers have contributed to some poor offense here as Vernon Carey trying to get position down low. being denied the entry pass. Cassius Stanley tries to go up and is blocked again. My goodness, Florida State blocking everything. And Florida State with a run out there. 3-point game. Wow, Florida State has found its mojo here. 9-2 run in the last 5 minutes after they went 0 of 9 from the field. Trey Jones trying to steady the ship. Dependable. I mean, dependable. Trey Jones, when you need a bucket, Trey Jones delivers. And it's the same bucket all the time. It's the left side. He just drives into the little left side in the paint there, puts up a mid-range jump shot, and it goes. Like, that's what you need all the time. As Florida State drives, again, Trent Forrest there scoring in the paint. So still a 3-point margin as we tick down to the 5-minute mark here in the first. 20 seconds to go. Duke needing to run a bit more offense here. Matthew Hurt going to drive in. Matthew Hurt gets it blocked. But a foul called against Florida State. Foul called against Florida State here. Finally, Duke gets a call. As we... Wow, a blow by there by Forrest. Opportunity to inbound here. 4:50 to go in the first half. Baseline out of bounds here. Oh my goodness. Alex O'Connell wide open in the corner. Hits the side of the... Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to complete that sentence. Alex O'Connell in the corner hits the back of the backboard. No, sorry. Hits the side of the backboard. Oh, dear. That was a poor effort. All right. And Florida State on the line with an opportunity to shoot 3. God, Alex. Alex was so wide open, he choked it. Florida State hits the first of the 2. Wow. Wow, sometimes even I am left speechless. It happened a lot on Saturday night, but for good reasons. It doesn't happen as often for the bad reasons. Florida State now extending pressure, actually, trying to go a little full court action. Doesn't keep it up. Duke well navigated here as Trey Jones going to go into the paint. Wendell Moore. Wendell hasn't really been hunting his shot. He's been trying to be a bit more of a distributor here. And Raekwon Evans. No, sorry. Raekwon Gray gets called for a foul there. There are 2 Raekwons, and they're actually pronounced the same way. One is 0 and one is 1. A little confusing here. Raekwon Gray now going to the bench with 2 fouls. Both teams now with 6. Duke, so not in the bonus. This is just a side out of bounds here for the Blue Devils as Vernon Carey collects it and then gives it right back to Trey Jones. And Trey Jones going to get this cross court over to Wendell. Wendell against 3 Florida State Seminoles gets that one blocked again, and Vernon Carey collects the block and scores down low. Vernon Carey, nicely done on that play. Wow, we need a stat for blocks. We'll get that one here when we hit the under 4 timeout, because Florida State has just been blocking everything, and Florida State trying to go down low, trying to get the roll, but the Cameron Rim decides not to give it to Florida State, and here Florida State is pinned down low. Olinichuk. Oh, the refs have called a 3-second an offensive 3-second violation. Wow, defensive and offensive 3 seconds, like that is rarely called. In any case, that is going to result in a turnover by Florida State, which is great for us. So ball back to the Blue Devils as we have hit the under 4 timeout. So let's go check that stat here let's go check that stat on the blocks. Florida State with 6 official blocks by Florida State, although I swear we've seen way more than that. Duke only has 1, actually. It's actually Matthew Hurts, the only block that we've had. And then Yeah, I don't know if they consider that last one a block because Vernon Carey ended up getting the ball back and then scoring. But anyway, seemed like a block to me. Florida State's shooting hasn't improved at all. They're still shooting 34.6% from the floor and only 1 of 6 from 3. Their free throw shooting, however, is pretty good, 5 of 8. Duke's free throw shooting 5 of 6. The free throws have been a highlight for the Blue Devils the last couple of games. Actually, in all the road games, at Syracuse, at Boston College, and at Carolina, our free throw percentage has been pretty good. Wanted to address a quick call out here from chat when Anta Kid said, we can hopefully win a natty, but our free throw shooting and a really cold 3-point shooting is sort of scary. So it's a great point. Let's look a bit deeper into that, however, because we did a quick stat. We actually have a video on our channel about what it takes to win a national championship. And we, at the halfway point in the season, this was right after the loss to Louisville, we were evaluating this year's Duke team and comparing them against teams from the past. So we were comparing them. We didn't have stats. We didn't have game by game stats from the 2010 national championship team. So unfortunately, we couldn't do the comparison there. But we did the comparison against teams from 2011, 2015, and then the flame out in 2014. So basically, we took the loss to Lehigh, the loss to Mercer, the national championship team, and then last year's team, and compared the stats halfway through the season to Duke's current team and how we were performing. And actually, Justin, who does the shows with us, did all the number crunching and the stats, and we're actually showing that this team is that all Duke teams actually have the same exact stat line halfway through the season. They all look the same. No matter who's on the Duke team, all Duke teams halfway through the season essentially have the same stats and same record. But what changes is what the stats are in the second half of the season. And so we're going to revisit that. If we keep the stats the same as they were, so if this Duke team plays as well in the second half of the season as they were playing in the first half of the season, our stats are equal to or better than the team that won the national championship. That's for free throws and actually for 3 points, for 3-point shooting. So there's if we just compare teams to teams, but Duke has to maintain the level of consistency. We have to maintain that level of performance. That's what's so hard. And here, Trey Jones trying to go inside, and Vernon Carey, yes, gets the ball into Vernon Carey. Nice little play there by Trey Jones. Bit of a broken play there, but Trey Jones delivers the alley-oop pass to Carey. Duke now by 5, and Florida State is just packing the paint here. Florida State now, Walker. Walker going to try to go for 3. That shot is off the iron. No good, but rebound right down to Florida State. No Duke player being able to recover that one. And here, Florida State driving in. It's a turnover. Turnover right to Goldwire. Goldwire going in. Goldwire! Goldwire scores! Yes! Beautifully done by Goldwire. Trying to score over the bigger Olinichuk. Wow, what a play. Going high off the glass. Beautiful play. Beautifully done by Goldwire. That's a great possession there. Off the Florida State miscue, Goldwire ends up scoring that one. Now Florida State, Cameron getting rowdy. Oh, geez. Florida State there with Vassell with the score. Now inbounding. Trey Jones. Pace of play has picked up here a little of late, ladies and gentlemen. 5-point margin here for the Blue Devils as we try to slow things down. 2:13 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Every time the ball goes down low, there's like 3 or 4 Florida State players that collapse to it. As Jack White tried to alley-oop it to Vernon Carey, but decided to hit the rim instead. So that will probably be scored as a turnover and not a missed shot. Oh dear, that was bad. Quick check on what we're going here with in chat. So Canda was saying, I like that Baylor and Texas matchup. Think Texas can test them defensively. Ooh, I'll probably have to watch that one right after this. While we're cutting highlights from this game, I'll probably just have that one on. I'd love to actually watch a Baylor game, especially when it comes tournament time. That's going to be really important. Yeah. And then everyone tested Baylor. Hey, when you got number one, when you have number one next to your name, everybody is coming for you. And of all people, we know that Duke Nation knows that better than most because we have one next to our name a lot. And even when we don't have one next to our name, everybody is still gunning for us because it makes their season when they beat Duke. Trey Jones at the line shooting a 1-and-1, and it rims out on him. It was halfway down, and then the rim decided to, or the basket rather, decided to cough the ball right back up. So empty possession there for the Blue Devils. Still a 5-point margin here as Florida State Williams drives in, and that shot is off back iron. No good. Olinichuk trying to get the rebound. Does. Resets it. Now reset here to Florida State off the offensive board. And here's Forrest. Forrest driving in. Forrest got fouled by Javin, which I don't agree with because I think Javin had legal guarding position. But that's why I'm not reffing. Yeah, everybody wants to see Duke lose. It because Duke losing makes headlines. Think about it. Think about it. It makes more clicks than Duke winning because Duke wins all the time. So, mm. Florida State converts on the first free throw. And Florida State now shooting the second, and both free throws good for Florida State. 3-point margin here for the Blue Devils, a minute 30 to go in the first half. Cassius Stanley, Trey Jones, Javin, Goldwire, and Matthew Hurt on the floor for the Blue Devils. Hurt over here in the corner, pump fake, nicely done. Another shot. Oh, Hurt trying to go 3 for 3 from the outside, can't get it to go. Javin trying for the rebound, doesn't collect it either. And so we have an out of bounds situation going to the favor of Florida State. Florida State content to also slow things down after we had a quick succession of back and forth plays here at the coming out of the under 4 timeout, in Florida State. Oh, geez. Koprivica with the finish in the paint. I think we just got lost defensively. 1-point margin here for Duke. The margin at 1 point as big as 10 points here for the Blue Devils in the first half, which a bunch of Duke turnovers have really slowed down our offense here. Jordan Goldwire gets it over to Matthew Hurt. Matthew Hurt going to drive hard. Matthew Hurt going to get fouled going up to the rim. Yes, shooting foul for Matthew Hurt. He will shoot 2. Man, this is the it's just a simple pick and roll. Oh my. Wow. We got taken to school on the pick and roll there. We got really taken to school on the pick and roll. Matthew Hurt connects on the first of the 2 free throws. Yikes. And Hurt gets the second of the 2 free throws. So 2 points for Hurt at the line. Hurt out. Wendell Moore in. Final 28.5 seconds to go of the first half. Not a bad first half. Could have been better. Florida State started horrifically, going 0 of 9, and then seemed to find its pace. Duke just too many turnovers so far, but credit the Florida State defense for some of that. As we go to 10 seconds on the clock here, 9, 8, 7, 6. Forrest going up and under. Forrest puts it in. And a timeout called by Mike Krzyzewski with 3.6 seconds to go. That is your use it or lose it timeout of the half. If you don't, as Florida State has once again managed to make this thing a 1-point game with 3.6 to go. quick pause in the action for the 30-second Duke timeout. Let's see what Coach has drawn up here for the final play of the half. We'll just turn it on for this final few seconds here. Javin with the baseball pass actually intercepted there. Florida State's just going to send it the other way, and that is no good. So unfortunately, that final play does not turn out the way that the Blue Devils wanted to. Looks like we were going for some sort of Christian Leitner type pass there at the end of the half. And it did not work out. So Duke going to take a 1-point lead into the halftime. And Coach Leonard Williams getting the interview, Leonard Hamilton rather, getting the interview after Florida State ended the half on an 8-2 run. All right, so at the halftime break now, ladies and gentlemen, let's do quick catch up with what sort of how this game has gone. Florida State 12 of 31 from the field, as opposed shooting 38.739% essentially, as opposed to Duke's 11 of 24. They've got, and we're shooting at 46% from the field, but there's a 7-shot differential to like the raw number of shots. Duke with 11 turnovers to 6 for Florida State, and Florida State with 8 steals and 6 blocks, keeping us away from the bucket here as we are at the halftime. Notable callouts for the Blue Devils is actually Matthew Hurt leading the team with 8 points. Nobody in double figures. We got 3 scorers with 6. We've got Vernon Carey with 6, Cassius Stanley with 6, and Trey Jones with 6 points. Goldwire's got his 5 points, and Alex O'Connell has 2. For Florida State, it's really one player. It's Forrest doing it all. We said this, and here are the highlights from the first half here. Here's Jordan. No, this is Wendell Moore. Wendell Moore going to try to get this out to Cassius Stanley, and Stanley's going to hit that one from 3. And then Trey Jones looking for Goldwire. Goldwire going to get this shot from 3. So the Duke 3-point shooting actually pretty good. 4 of 9, 44%, until the turnovers started. And here Cassius Stanley driving in. There's the block/turnover. There, that turns into straight up points. Not what you want to see. Yeah, I mean, they're like Florida State's really not being able to run any offense. The Duke defense has played well. Florida State's been scoring out in transition. Actually, I want to try to bring the live stats into this because these usually give us a pretty good indication. Here, let's go with team stats. Rebounds. Here, so Florida State with 11 points off turnovers. So even though they have 11 Duke has turned the ball over 11 times. Florida State's really only been able to capitalize on about half of them, getting with their 11 turnovers. However, that's just no shot attempts for Duke, right? Fast break points, 5 for Florida State, and second chance points pretty even, 4 for Florida State and only 2 for Duke. The Duke bench, however, playing well, 10 points for them, mainly Matthew Hurt and Alex O'Connell. And yeah, I think I don't even know if we need Joey Baker to heat up. And I honestly, we just need, we have a lot of players under their season average by a lot. Like Cassius Stanley, well under his season average. Vernon Carey, well under his season average. Trey Jones, well under his season average. I mean, just look, like Trey Jones usually is scoring. Hold on, I had that stat. Trey Jones scoring 12 points, 15 points a game. Trey Jones, yeah, 15.8. I was right, 15.8 points a game for Trey Jones, and he's got 6, right? So Vernon Carey usually like we need a double from him. And Cassius Stanley's just got to get into double figures. Cassius Stanley, who put in 18 points the other night in Carolina, or maybe even more than that. No, it was 18. It was 18 for Wendell. Oh my God, it was 18 for Vernon Carey. It was like 22 for Cassius Stanley, and then 28 for Jones. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Here's the thing, though, right? If you're Florida State, two things are happening here. Either Florida State has got to feel really good about themselves. Oh, yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, look, if Baker heats up, then this thing could really take off, right? You can get those contributions off the bench. It's just bonus. All like what you're saying is totally right, but it's just bonus. Icing on the cake. Like if we get Joey Baker to heat up, then yeah, this thing turns into like a 10-point lead turns into a 15-point lead. You know, that kind of thing. But this is similar. If you're Florida State, here's what's going through your mind. Florida State, you've been shooting terribly. You started the game terribly. You're on the road in Cameron. You're only down by 1. So you couldn't have played a worse half shooting. So in that regard, Florida State probably feeling okay about themselves. However, if you're Duke, you're thinking, wow, guys, we're shooting pretty well. We just got to give ourselves a chance. We just got to give ourselves a chance and take care of the basketball. We take care of the basketball. We cut down the turnovers, even if we have half the number of turnovers. Let's just say the next half, we only have 5 turnovers instead of 11. Like, easy. We take this game and we just, like, blow it up. Like, it's we win going away. So, yeah, we just have to take care of the ball. Right now, this is all on Duke. And some of this, like, look, to be honest, they came out pretty good. They came out firing from the locker room. But after that game at Chapel Hill, you have one day. You have yesterday as to do like the walkthrough. There's no way they practiced yesterday. There's just like no way. After an overtime game in Chapel Hill, the amount of physical and emotional energy that takes up, like you're not practicing contact. Like you're doing your walkthrough, you're talking with the coaches, you're getting treatment. As Justin would say, you're getting treatment to make sure that like you can recover and be ready to play a top 10 team like within 24 hours. Like, come on. Like, who scheduled this game? This is just ridiculous. I mean, damn. At least make it on a Tuesday night. Holy cow. But yeah, Duke getting no favors whatsoever from the scheduling gods. They're doing a bit of a talking here on San Diego State, who apparently is ranked 4th in the country and is undefeated. Wow, that one slipped in there somehow. Wow. All right, so another team to watch out for in March when we get to that point. I cannot wait for March. Yeah, they're undefeated. Wow. So no, Baylor has a loss. Baylor has 1 loss. Oh, that's right. Baylor lost to the University of Washington earlier in the season. Of all teams. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be scared of a San Diego State team. We've beaten San Diego State in the tournament several times, actually. It's like, I feel like Duke and San Diego State play the tournament like every 5 years. It just like happens. So, yeah, let's see. While we're at the halftime, we have a little bit of opportunity. We've run through the stats. We've kind of walked through sort of the situation for both teams and what you want to do coming out here in the second half. We'll talk that through a little as we come out of the halftime. I wanted to take a quick opportunity to thank some of the subs that we had while we were offline. So let's do a quick check there. Daniel Allman, thank you very much for the subscription. And Connor69, Jewel69, thank you very much for the subscription there as well. 2 of those coming while we were offline. Wanted to make sure that everybody got their proper shout out. So thank you very much, and make sure if you are a Duke fan, or if you're not a Duke fan, we do a lot of games. We try to do the games here live on Relive and do this sort of streamcast. Sometimes it gets hard to do it during the week, but because this was such a big matchup, we had to be here doing this one. And also check out the highlights. So make sure to hit that subscription button and get notified when we upload our Duke biased, Duke centric, Duke whatever you want to call them. They're all Duke highlights because that's what matters here for us in Blue Devil Nation. So now strategies for the second. We talk a lot of times when we're doing our debrief, our post game shows, how important it is to win to play well or win the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And teams, you're really able to both one carry that momentum into the locker room, and then if you come out in the second half and play a really good 4 minutes, you have the ability to just like throw a knockout punch early. We've seen Duke do this before, especially at home. Like you come out in the second half, even if it's a close first half, you play an exceptional 4 minutes where it's defense first and then and leading into Duke offense, and you can really put a team on the back foot. And then you get a team down 10 in Cameron, and it makes it really tough for them. Chat saying he's scared of Gonzaga, West Virginia, and Dayton. I would actually say I am not scared of Gonzaga at all because Gonzaga is consistently overrated. Last year I had my whole rant about Gonzaga, how basically the committee. This is another one of the crazy conspiracy theories that actually isn't really a conspiracy theory. I think this is actually how it happens, which probably makes it a conspiracy theory, is that basically the committee needs a West Coast team because of how the NCAA is designed. You have your West, East, South, and Midwest regions, and there really isn't. The problem is there isn't that talent on the West Coast with highly ranked teams to be able to put into that spot. So what ends up happening is that Gonzaga, who plays in a just a walkover of a conference, is like, well, they're like, okay, so they went undefeated in their conference. They won the regular season. They won their conference championship. They've played maybe a couple good games on the road or like on neutral courts. And they're like, yeah, we got to give them one seed because we need a team from the West Coast to go out there. Like, that is not how it should work, but that is basically how it's worked these past. Last year was the same thing. Gonzaga went on the road twice last year before they hit their conference, like true road games. One of them was to UNC, and they lost. And the other one, I want to say, was to a Texas team. I can't remember. It might have been Texas Tech or like one of those Texas teams. Anyway, they lost that one. So basically, anytime Gonzaga goes out on the road, they lose. Every time we say, okay, Gonzaga, prove it, they can't. But because they're the only team with any amount of talent on the West Coast in the current scheme of the world, they get the number one seed, and it's wrong. So that's why I never pick Gonzaga in my bracket, because they're just gonna like flame out before the Final Four for sure. But like they've even flamed out in the first weekend. Like the time they won the whole thing, it was like the only time they made it deep was when they won the whole thing. And I was like, all right, it's like fine. Wait, I don't even know if they won the whole thing that year. I feel like they did. I can't remember. It was like so long ago. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Like Gonzaga gets all these transfers and stuff, and like these senior players. Like, all right, knock yourself out. Like, go for it. Go for it. I'll put our Duke team against them anytime. Like, any day. Like we can play. I'm not scared of it. And the only reason Gonzaga beat us in Maui last year, the only reason is because RJ decided to play hero ball for 3 straight possessions. All right, and that was a disaster. So if it wasn't for that, if we had maybe, passed Zion once out of those 3 possessions, we would have won that game because they were basically giving us the game for the entire way down the stretch. And we just decided to say, you know what? Here, take it. Just Gonzaga go ahead and win this thing because you know what? We don't want it. So, um, yeah, that's Gonzaga. Anyway, we will have more about Gonzaga when we do our special like March Madness selection show. We're gonna bring all our casters in for that show, even the ones that do football with us sometimes, as everybody watches the college game. We'll have our live bracketology here. So that should probably be book that one for the Monday after Selection Sunday. We are going to go the distance. We're going to fill out brackets. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to take your questions. We're going to try to figure it out on stream live. And we're also going to have a bracket challenge here as a channel where everyone who's a subscriber will be eligible to win probably I'll just gonna give away money or something, or it'll be some sort of like Duke themed something. Trust me, it'll be the easiest money you've ever made. So I am looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. So make sure you subscribe and follow to stick around for that because that is we are absolutely looking forward to doing that NCAA tournament bracket. We did a bit last year, and we think it's going to be even bigger and more fun this year. So I think almost ready to come out of halftime here. We got to really see if Duke can step it up and make sure to take care of the basketball. That is going to be the number one priority coming out of the locker room. It is going to be taking care of the basketball. Quick check on the foul situation. Not much to talk about actually in the foul situation. We've been playing a clean game. We've been defending without fouling. As we come back out of the halftime, here's Matthew Hurt with 8 points. Trent Forrest for Florida State. Look at that, 5 steals. Anytime Duke wants to get into the paint, 3 Florida State defenders collapsing instantly, causing steals, stripping the ball. Can't bring the ball down, keep the ball up high. And our offense can actually work here. It's just been, Florida State's been all over it. We actually need to get some of the shooting going too. I think if we start hitting from the 3, we will kind of open up that paint because then we're going to draw Florida State out of the paint. It's kind of like shoot the 3 to open up, hit the pass, open up the run, or go with the run to open up the pass in football. All right, we have come out of the halftime, so here we go. Our Blue Devils ready to rock and roll. Florida State gets the possession arrow here at the start of the second half, and there is Walker giving it back over to Osborne. And now Gray going in, and Gray is going to hit. So the first lead for Florida State since it was 2-0. Boy, all right, let's see. Can Duke win this first 4 minutes of the second half? That's really what we want to see. Cassius Stanley tries to go in and drive, gets fouled. So not going to be a shooting foul, actually. Just a common foul there. Oh my goodness, Trey Jones just hands it over to Florida State on the inbounds. Uncharacteristic pass there for Trey Jones, but Florida State hands it right back to Duke. Duke now, Trey Jones going the distance. Trey Jones going to go up high off glass. Trey Jones can't get the finish. Cassius Stanley puts it off a Florida State player. What a 200 IQ play. Wow, that was pretty good. Cassius Stanley, let's check that again. Look at this. Cassius just going to try to save it. Woo! Off the right leg of the Florida State defender. Nicely done by Cassius. That is a heads-up play. May have saved the possession here for the Blue Devils and gets down low. Hey, he was held! Cassius Stanley held down low, but turns into a turnover for Florida State. Florida State going to go to the line. Wow, that was a horrible no call. Wait a second. What a horrible no call. Are you kidding? Jesus. Wow, okay. So Florida State now going to have to shoot and can't make that free throw. Once again, ball doesn't lie. Florida State cannot connect on the free throw. And we'll shoot the second here. This is Vassell at the line, and he misses both. Looks like I think our opponents are just cursed at the line, which is totally fine by me. Florida State 7 of 13 from the line, and Trey Jones with a beautiful floater in the lane. When you need a bucket, you go to Trey Jones, and Trey Jones delivers. 35-34, Blue Devils now out ahead. Turnovers are the stat that is being shown on the broadcast. 13-7 here, and Trey Jones. No, Wendell Moore with the beautiful block. Prevents Florida State from getting an easy bucket there. Here's the block there by Wendell. Wendell just says, get it out of here. Nicely done. Inbound for Florida State. Wendell guarding Gray. Gray working on Wendell. He traveled. Oh my goodness, he traveled. Come on. No call there by the refs. And Florida State stole the inbounds pass and tried to put up a three, but the three is no good. Duke sloppy on the inbounds, trying to get it to Trey Jones. To Cassius Stanley on the cutting Stanley, and Stanley going up strong. He's going to end up at the free throw line as well. Jeez. Sports drama, we're only down a point. I am not worried. The other night in Chapel Hill, I was worried. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm not worried right now. Cassius Stanley, though, misses the first free throw, so maybe that's a bit worrisome. Gray taken out here for Florida State. That's his third foul. Expect to see him on the bench for a little while. That's good. That gives us a size advantage down low. And Stanley hits the second of the free throws, so all knotted up here at 36. 18-20 on the clock here in the second half. Forrest being guarded by Goldwire. And here, this is Walker. And Walker just gives it up. Walker gives it up. Lost the ball over to Duke, to Vernon Carey. Now gives it to Trey Jones. So a turnover for Florida State. Can Duke capitalize? Trey Jones trying to capitalize. Can't get it. Wendell Moore. No, Wendell can't corral the rebound, and it's out of bounds off his chest. Damn it. Damn, we had an opportunity there. Opportunity for the Blue Devils, unable to convert. Trey Jones, 3 assists, 5 turnovers. Uncharacteristic stat line for Trey. Still plenty of time, though, to fix that. Screened by Osborne, goes to Forrest. Forrest can't connect for Florida State. And Florida State just poking at the ball and steals it back from Vernon Carey. Wow, we are being way too lackadaisical. Well, big word there. Oh, I can't even pronounce it. We're just being too loose with the ball. Wow, Vernon Carey going to go to the bench. About his normal time to go to the bench. He went to the bench at this point in the first half as well. 7 steals for Trent Forrest, a career high. Go figure. And there's 17:30 on the clock left. Osborne tries to shoot for 3, can't get it. Rebound to Stanley, who outjumps basically a 6'8 dude and pulls it down. Nice rebound there by Stanley. Wendell just not hunting his shot. I want to see Wendell be more aggressive. What are you in the game for, Wendell? Be more aggressive. Pass back out from Goldwire to Wendell. Wendell going to take a step back jumper. That shot's no good. Not what I meant by hunting his shot. He tries to shoot over three Seminoles. I guess I can't blame him because I asked him to shoot and he did, but he missed. And foul called on Goldwire, who was guarding Forrest. So neither team really can hit anything from the floor. Florida State going to inbound from the baseline here. Inbound is to Williams. And Osborne going to try for 3 again. That's in and out. The friendly in and out from the Cameron rim. Wow. Cameron not going to let us lose tonight. Goldwire pass, dangerous pass to Trey Jones. And Williams almost picked it off by Trey to Goldwire. Goldwire now going to shoot the 3. Goldwire for 3! Nails it! Goldwire can shoot. Beauty. The 3-pointer for Goldwire, that is his second of the night. 3-point margin here for the Blue Devils. As Walker tries to drive. No, this is Williams. Williams driving in. Ball on the floor. Back to Forrest on the outside. 10 seconds on the shot clock here. Osborne guarded by Goldwire. Great hands by Goldwire. By Forrest. Picks it up. Forrest going to have to force it for 4. No. Can't get it to go. 1 second. It never hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation. It should be a shot clock violation. And instead, it's a Duke foul. Ref, what are you doing? What is the ref doing? Yo, that needs to be. I don't think they can review this, but that's wrong. Are you? We are at a media timeout at under 16. And let's count the ways the refs have gotten it wrong tonight. There's that shot clock violation. They called a traveling call to take away a bucket from Vernon Carey earlier. Then there was a bizarre foul on Stanley. So at least 3 screw ups there by the refs. Wow, they are totally blowing that. That is like FSU. God, what are they? Jeez. That's Skylark. That's usually something what is it? I blame Roy Williams for doing. FSU usually a little bit better. Usually does a little bit better. Oh my God. That was last year's game where I blamed Roy Williams for paying off the refs because they had such calls in the game at Chapel Hill. That was crazy. But yeah, the refs completely leaving us out of this one. Wow, okay. 15 turnovers now for the Blue Devils. So basically, in the span of the first 4 minutes of the game for Duke, we have turned it over 4 times of the second half, which we said Duke needed a really good first 4 minutes. That's not a really good first 4 minutes. Cigar Brian, thank you very much for the sub. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. For some reason, the alert isn't showing up here on my Streamlabs, so I don't know. I don't know why that is, but so it should have like shown a little thing. Here's your shout out. Thank you very much, Cigar Brian, for the sub. Much appreciated. Yeah, oh, man. Not happy about the refereeing situation. Right? The saying goes, there are 3 teams out on the court. Our team, the opposing one, and then the refs. The third of those teams is not supposed to determine the outcome of the game. And I hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope it doesn't come to that because I hope that's not the discussion that we have to have. And I hope the discussion that we have is about the play of our team and our boys out there, our men out there, and Florida State, because that's what the discussion needs to be about. Oh, there it is. It worked. Streamlabs actually did get it to work. It was just a little late. So here it is. Here it is. Okay, chat, you call it. Here's the shot clock violation. That's zeros on the shot clock. Go. So he does get it off. All right. All right. He got it off. He got it off. There was the slow motion replay. We all saw it together. He did. The ball was out of his hands. One way or the other, we're still going to win this game. I have absolute faith. So no problems here. Florida State now. This one to Vassell. No. Vassell, I guess is how you pronounce it. Williams, and Williams there with a lay-in in the paint. Got in way too close and scores. A 1-point margin now for our Duke Blue Devils. Cameron Crazy's getting the Let's Go Duke cheer going. You love to see that. Trey Jones trying to key the offense here. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Trey Jones gets back out to Javin. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Javin looking down low, slips. Call a timeout, Javin. Call a timeout. No, they're going to call a held ball. Possession arrow will keep it on this end of the court with the Blue Devils. No, here. They're just showing a Florida State replay. We don't need to see any of that. That's not what we're here for. We're here for the Duke. All right. Trey Jones inbounding. Baseline out of bounds. Matthew Hurt tries to cut baseline. Not an opportunity there. A pass back outside to Cassius Stanley. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Jordan Goldwire for 3. Again. With 3 seconds on the shot clock, Jordan Goldwire drills it from downtown. 3 for 3 for Goldwire. Once again, silencing the naysayers. Florida State, it's in and out, and the ball is out to the Blue Devils. Let's go! Let's go! Here's the replay here. Cassius Stanley to Goldwire. Goldwire! Goldwire! Beautiful. Goldwire having himself a night. Love it. And here's Matthew Hurt. Matthew Hurt. Oh, Hurt could have put that 3 up. Not only was the shot fake effective, and here's Stanley. Stanley for 3. No, that goes off the front iron. Oh, Matthew Hurt should have just pulled the trigger there on his 3-point shot. His pump fake is so effective. It works every time. It works every time. And this is another terrible call. Oh, man. Matthew Hurt got into good position here. I actually thought he recovered. Damn. No, Matthew Hurt going to get called for a foul, as that will force a Florida State baseline inbounds here. And here's Vossel. Vossel being blocked by Javin, gets the block back, though. And then outside here to Williams. Williams working on Trey Jones. Height mismatch. Oh, man. They're going to call a foul on Trey Jones. Trey Jones got the worst of that one. Wow. Look at the replay here. You're going to say that's a foul on Trey? What? I don't know. Yeah, wow. Wow. 5th team foul for the Blue Devils. Only 2 fouls so far for Florida State. Wow. And Florida State makes both of the free throws, so it is a 2-point game. And Florida State once again going with a full court pressure here, trying to speed up the Blue Devils. Their pressure has resulted in several turnovers tonight. Actually 15 so far for the Blue Devils. Goldwire. Javin trying to get a screen, trying to set up a pick and roll with Trey. Trey's now going to just take a mid-range jump shot. Beautiful shot by Trey. Right at the ACC logo. The mid-range jump shot is good. 44-40 in favor of the Blue Devils here. And Forrest now trying to go inside. And Vossel trying to shoot over Trey. Vossel finishes there. Trey and Vossel going back and forth here. Florida State and Duke. He averages 13.5 points a game, only has 6 tonight, and Jordan Goldwire just hands it to Florida State, who flushes it. Oh my goodness, what a terrible decision by Jordan Goldwire. Gonna have to recover from that. The 8th steal for Forrest, as if he didn't have enough of a career high with 7. He now has 8, and Coach K has seen enough. Timeout. Coach K with 13:17 to go here in the second half. Wow. Oh, that is painful. It just turns into straight offense. It just turns into straight offense for Florida State. That is now the 16th turnover for the Blue Devils here. 11 in the first half, 5 now in the second half, and we've played only 7 minutes in the second half. Goldwire, despite his 11 points, his 4 of 4 shooting from the floor, and 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, could have made a better decision there. And Forrest still leading the way for Florida State with 14. You know, usually when we have trouble like with one of these games, there's some dude on the other team that just like goes off and has a night, and it's usually with points. I mean, tonight it's Forrest with 14 points, which is right around his season average, but he's been having a night with steals because nobody else on Florida State has more than 6 points. Florida State's Gray, 6 points. Vossel, 6 points. Williams, 6 points. Then it's 5 for Osborne, and that's it. Like, this isn't Florida State having some sort of ridiculous shooting performance. The scoring a little bit more lopsided for the Blue Devils. We got Goldwire with 11, Trey Jones with 10, and Matthew Hurt actually with 8. Nice rebound game for Matthew Hurt coming off the tough game in Carolina where he had 0. Bit of a full timeout here for the Blue Devils. Coach K going to try to draw something up and make sure we get a good play coming out of here of the timeout. I'd be interested to see if Vernon Carey gets put back in the game. We actually haven't seen him on the court since he was taken out around the 17-minute mark. Yeah, this is how you know they're not calling fouls. He has 8 steals with 13 minutes left. You would think that at least one of those fouls was like him getting in the path of one of our players, maybe, who was also like trying to get the ball. Like, yeah, I actually think this. I'm very curious to see if we do end up putting Carey back coming in out of this timeout because we haven't seen him very much in the second half. I'm starting to think it may be a bad, it may not be the matchup we're looking for because Florida State doesn't really have all that much size. Like they have big dudes, but every time we try to go down low, they're just clogging the paint. It's just not working. And what happens is we go down low and they clog the paint and it turns into a steal. And so the Florida State defense, man. My goodness. Let's just take this opportunity to thank everybody here in chat who's been hanging out and has been contributing in chat. We're building an awesome and great community here of Blue Devil fans and fans who just enjoy college basketball as well. Trying to bring you the games as we can. So Vernon Carey is in the game here. On the floor for the Blue Devils, Jones, Goldwire, Carey, Hurt, and Stanley. And once again, Florida State bringing double teams every time the ball touches the paint. So difficult for Vernon Carey to get positioned down low. Vernon Carey trying to go on. Olynyk and oh my goodness! Cassius Stanley with the putback. Nobody boxes him out. Cassius Stanley just had the electrifying play of the game. If there's anything to get Duke going, it's that. Let's see if we will absolutely get a replay of that one. Is that by Olynyk is in and out, and Florida State has stepped on the end line out of bounds to Duke. Out of bounds, Florida State. And here is the replay, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Vernon Carey. Vernon Carey trying to go in. Stanley with the dunk. Woo! That is the play that makes the games. Let's see if we can capitalize right here. If Duke gets a score down here, this is going to be big. Cassius Stanley cross-court pass to Goldwire. Goldwire still looking for Vernon Carey down low. We cannot get the ball to him, being denied by Florida State. And Trey Jones says, don't worry, I'll take it. Finishes with the left hand. Great play there by Trey Jones. Coach K, I don't know what he said during that full timeout, but he got right into his team, and they have seemed to respond as Florida State, Matthew Hurt blocks it. And Olynyk, they're going to call a foul on Vernon Carey. Okay, what? Here's the double standard. Because that happened to Vernon Carey early in the game, they called it travel. They called it travel. So, God damn it. All right, we have hit our under 12. 11:57 to go in the game. Duke coming out of a timeout and playing like a bit of a different team. Actually, and chat can help me with this because this has happened several times throughout the season where Duke has looked sluggish. We have played slow. This happened, if memory serves me, at Virginia Tech and at Georgia Tech. We come out in the second half, and actually it happened really early in the second half. Remember when we were at Georgia Tech, we come out, like the first 2 possessions are garbage. Coach K immediately timeout. Similar thing happened to Virginia Tech immediately timeout. We just don't come out with the energy. Here it took us until like the 13-minute mark. Timeout, Coach K. And now Duke looks like a totally different team. So, I mean, granted, it's the GOAT, so he knows how to push the buttons. But apparently his halftime speeches don't work as well as his timeouts right after halftime. So maybe we want to just pull whatever was said in the halftime timeout, or in these timeouts, and pull them into halftime. Stanley's points there on the massive dunk gives him 9 so far for the game, as Duke has opened a 4-point lead here on Florida State. Yeah, Carey, super aggressive. I think it had something to do with that too. You know, you put Carey back in, and because Carey is getting double teamed and triple teamed down low. And he just has to get, at this point, he's got to get used to it. Like, that is the other team's strategy. Like, they did it in Virginia Tech. They did it at UNC. They've done it like in every. They did it at Syracuse, even with the zone. The zone would collapse in Vernon Carey there. I mean, so Vernon's just got to play bigger than that. He's just got to learn to play bigger than that. And he's going to be. Look, we know Carey's going to be a pro at the next level, and he's got to start playing like it. I think that's the challenge. The challenge from Cade to Carey is all about playing tough down low. As I refill my water bottle here, we got a ways to go here, chat. We got a ways to go. But yeah, it's all about Carey and toughening up and being that man down low. All right. Bit of an extended media timeout. Quick check here on the stats as well for the Blue Devils, shooting 48.6%. That's about our season average. We're averaging between 47 and 48%. So right on there, right on par. Right on par there for the Blue Devils, shooting 6 of 12 from three-point range. That 50% from three, really keeping us in this, and shooting 8 of 11, 73% from the free throw line, which you love to see. Love to see the improvement there at the free throw line. Florida State, on the other hand, 1 of 11. 1 of 11 from three. So let's hope their three-pointers don't go. And Cassius Stanley off the Florida State inbounds play. Smart foul here. Fouls Patrick Williams, who is going to go in for a massive alley-oop slam. Cassius Stanley goes up to defend it and draws a foul. So is going to make Williams earn it at the line. It was a really smart foul by Cassius Stanley, actually, as the first free throw hits the front of the rim, hits the back of the rim, and then just drops out. 9 of 16 from the free throw line is Florida State. That was Stanley's third personal foul, as Florida State makes the second of the two free throws. 3-point margin here for our Blue Devils with 11:57 left in the game. Hurt now inbounding as Florida State brings the pressure up full court. They're playing everyone full court, and they had 4 people in the backcourt here. 22 seconds as Trey Jones brings the ball across the timeline, and Trey Jones left wide open. Trey Jones for 3, can't get it to go. Matthew Hurt trying for the rebound, no. Falls in the hands of Vassell, and now going the other way. Oh man, Trey Jones, if that shot had fallen, that would have been a big momentum shot. He was wide open, just couldn't get it to go. Here's Olinichuk there, gets called for a illegal screen. Offensive foul, Florida State. Give it back to the Blue Devils. Jordan Goldwire now bringing the ball up the court for Duke. Gets it out to Cassius Stanley. Oh my God. Cassius Stanley just dropped it in Coach K's lap. Wow, another turnover here for Duke. Another lost opportunity. Wow. All right. So Florida State here trailing by 3 with 11:17 to go. Cameron is a little nervous, to say the least. A fake three-point shot there by Florida State. No, and here's Walker who's going to take the 3. That's going to go off the front iron and no good. Olinichuk tries to get the rebound. Can't get it. Javin instead comes down with the rebound. Up to Trey Jones. Luckily, Florida State hasn't hit a damn thing from the outside. 1 of 12 still from three-point range. Screen by Javin. Rolls to the basket. No pass there. Wendell passing the ball around outside. Here's Joey Baker. Joey Baker now trying to get into the paint. Joey Baker gives the ball up 2. It's another turnover. This one's a live ball turnover, and that ball does not go. Wendell Moore puts Florida State on the free throw line. My goodness. Wow, we can't get anything right on the offense. Wow. Florida State's defense is something else here tonight. Florida State locked in. This is not a pretty game. Trent Forrest at the line shooting free throws. Makes the first. And Forrest shooting the second of the true free throws and connects. So 1 point game. The margin quickly evaporating. Every time Duke tries to get out to a bit of a lead, Florida State punches it right back. Florida State with the 15 points off Duke's, 18 turnovers? 18 turnovers. We'll check that stat at when we get in timeout, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Wendell Moore driving in. Wendell, finally! Beautiful shot, mid-range jump shot for Wendell at the 10-10 mark here. Finally, some points for Wendell, and here's Florida State trying to drive in. Duke defending. Joey Baker blocks it from behind. No foul called for Florida State. Thankfully, the refs weren't paying attention or just decided not to call. And here's Joey Baker for three, stepping into it. No, can't get that to go. Duke and now in transition, getting the defense back. Florida State thought about the three. There's Vossel thinking about the three again. Vossel again. No. Okay, Duke is now set on the defensive end. So Florida State resetting, 19 on the shot clock. Forrest from the outside, driving into the paint, gets Baker in the air. Forrest short on his little floater, gets his own rebound, 20-second reset. Florida State's got to pull it out. Great defense, great interior defense for the Blue Devils. Another opportunity here for Florida State, though. Vossel going for three. That three looks good. Yeah, oh, damn it. Wow, that three is good. Not only looks good, is good. Damn, all knotted up at 50 here. That was really good Duke defense until Vossel just put that one over Baker. Wow. And Joey Baker now trying. Joey Baker, one heck of a shot fake. Gets his defender in the air, but can't. Takes two dribbles in. Can't hit the mid-range jump shot. Florida State deciding to slow things down. 8 minutes and 42 seconds left. All knotted up at 50. The Duke turnover is the story of the game here. Florida State thought about three, decided to go in, and does. Florida State converts, and now Duke finds itself down 52-50. Wow, this is going in the wrong direction here for Duke real fast. Timeout again, Blue Devils, with 8:23 to go. Oh boy, chat, that was not a good 4-minute series. That was not a good 4-minute segment there for Duke. Wow. Damn, this is going to get nerve-wracking. As we did with the UNC game, if it gets close at the end, we'll go ahead and show all the plays as they happen live so that everybody is in sync and we can all enjoy the game. All enjoy it here together. Yeah, Duke now with 18 turnovers. Florida State actually a couple turnovers of its own. It now has 10 turnovers there. So, oh man, Florida State's there hitting a big. They've only hit 2 3-point shots, but that was a big one. Here, Coach K calling a full timeout again as Florida State has taken the lead 52-50. Whew. Florida State's Forrest now with 16 points. Vossel with 9. No other. Well, actually, Forrest, the only Florida State Seminole in double figures. Duke's double-figure scorers, Trey Jones and Jordan Goldwire, 12 and 11. Vernon Carey with only 6 points tonight, actually. Matthew Hurt with 8. And Stanley with 9. Duke looked really good coming out of the last timeout that Coach K called. Let's see if we can match that same level of energy. We seem to be able to play in spurts, and then not really can't really sustain it. Florida State has just kept us out of any sort of offensive rhythm all night. It's been frustrating. It's been frustrating to watch, Duke. I hate watching our team struggle because I know they're so much better. Like, you hate watching this team struggle because they can do it, but they are young. This is very similar to the Louisville game, right? It was just nip and tuck the whole way, back and forth. Not the best offensive game, especially coming off a three-game road trip. The win at Chapel Hill less than 36, basically 48 hours ago. Less even. Man. All right, coming out here. We are coming out here of the timeout called by Coach K. Quick opportunity to welcome in everybody in chat who joins us here this evening. My name is Ritz. This is Real Life Sports, your home for all things sports on YouTube and Twitch as well. We do stream across both platforms, and we do all our Duke stuff here on the YouTube. It's the best place for it, and we love everybody who's been out and engaging with us as we've been doing these streams. Trey Jones now inbounding, side out of bounds, right in front of the Cameron Crazies. Careful there, almost gets a 5-second call. Does manage to inbound it to Wendell with 8:18 left in the game here. Wendell trying to get it. There's AOC O'Connell. O'Connell hits the long 2-point shot. It's about a 18, 19 footer there from the left side. 52-52 is Florida State driving in. Oh my goodness, Florida State. Wow. Evans puts it up over both Trey Jones and Vernon Carey. That shot was a prayer. And Trey Jones, here's O'Connell. O'Connell for three from the corner. O'Connell! Yes! O'Connell for three! O'Connell's got the last 5 points for the Blue Devils. Florida State trying to answer. Oh my goodness. And now the scoring has opened up for both teams. Osborne answers for three. Florida State 57-55. Are you kidding me? Now Florida State decides to start making buckets. Vernon Carey down low and one. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful feed from Moore to Carey. Here's the replay. No, from Stanley to Carey, sorry. What a pass. What a finish. Vernon Carey now going to shoot. Yes, Vernon Carey connects. 58-53. Scoring is heated up here. And that was a whistle under 8, so we will not have an under 8 media timeout. The timeout called by Coach K doubles as the media timeout. So now we're going to keep this. We're going to keep rolling until the under 4. 7 minutes to go. Florida State driving here. Osborne. No, yes, Osborne trying to go for three. Osborne front ironed. Three is no good. Duke by 1. Rebound there to Carey. Trey Jones now with the ball. Trey Jones going into the paint. Trey Jones, tough shot. Trey Jones fouled. Trey Jones going to find his way to the free throw line. Whew. Everybody catch your breath. Everybody catch their breath. We are going the distance here. Trey Jones now at the free throw line. And, I thought he had it. Trey Jones misses the first of the two. Trey Jones gets the second. It's a 2-point margin here for the Blue Devils, 59-57. And Evans bringing the ball up the court as it looks like Forrest has gone to the bench for a rest. Yes, Florida State's Forrest on the bench here. I'll have to check his personal foul count. I don't think it's about that. And that is a missed shot there. Vassal tries a mid-range jump shot and misses. Duke with an opportunity here to extend the lead and do some damage. AOC with the ball top of the key. Gives it back to Trey Jones. Trey Jones with 20 seconds. Trey Jones driving in. Trey Jones with the left hand. Oh, he can't finish it. Rebound right back down to AOC, however. And reset. Duke to reset here. Wendell Moore, oh my goodness. Wendell Moore tries to drive and it is stripped by Florida State. Oh, and he gets called for an offensive foul. Rayquan Gray. We're talking about the refs all game, Chad. The refs just saved Duke. Maybe. Here's the replay. You call it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In the back of the head. Look at this. Gives him the shove. That's absolutely an offensive foul. Absolutely the offensive foul going the way. Gives the ball back to the Blue Devils. Wendell Moore now bring the ball up the court. Yo, whoever's... What is that? Polite? Guarding Trey Jones needs to give him some airspace. There's got to be a verticality call there. Oh, AOC, the pass is too hot for Javin. O'Connell, just take that to the rim, buddy. O'Connell's just got to take that to the rim. Florida State, too strong. The shot misses. Duke has had opportunities. They've just been giving the ball back to Florida State the entire time. Come on, 5:30 to go in the game now. Vernon Carey going to the scorer's table to check in. Screen by Javin. Roll by Javin. No, Trey still has the ball. Trey resets it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Trey being dared to shoot, actually. 7. Trey going to have to make something happen. Trey goes in. Trey, really tough shot. Really tough shot. Rebound lands in the hands of Florida State. No opportunity there. Wow. And this is Gray down low. The three-pointer by Florida State. Polite is an air ball. It's an air ball! And the Cameron Crazies are letting him hear it. Wow, Florida State giving Duke so many opportunities. The pass fake by Stanley. The three no good, however. Wow, okay, now Duke can't make any shots. Wow. This game has been back and forth. Both teams going cold for the better part of the last 2.5 minutes here. Forrest back in the game for Florida State. Polite driving. Gray for 3. The big man for 3. No, back iron. Rebound down to the Blue Devils. Numbers advantage. 3-on-1. Pass to Wendell. Wendell with the reverse. Oh, what a beautiful play. It looked like the one from UNC. Wendell, what a beautiful play. The bucket when Duke needed it most in transition. And a timeout by Leonard Hamilton and Florida State. We will get you that replay here in a second. They will absolutely get the replay here. Cameron is going nuts on this one. There's the Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster has made an appearance. And there's Trey Jones. What a beautiful pass to Wendell. Wendell underneath. And Javin there to clean it up if we needed it. Oh my goodness, when Moore just using the bucket, the rim to protect the shot. And that is a beautiful finish there by Wendell Moore. And Florida State forced to call a timeout as Duke has managed to open a 4-point lead here with 4:01 left to go. If it goes correctly, I think this should also count as the under 4 media timeout, which would mean that we would go the distance without any more needing any more breaks, which would be great. As from Trey. As we don't like the commercials, we don't do commercials here on the broadcast. So we're just here for you guys. We're here for you guys and gals in chat. All right. As we go, get ready to go down the stretch. Any key plays, we will bring you live. The foul trouble for Florida State is Gray with 4 fouls and Osborne with 3. Duke players with foul trouble. Cassius Stanley with 3. Hold on. Cassius Stanley with 3 and Jordan Goldwire with 3. Any other Blue Devil only has 2. Trey Jones has 0. So Trey Jones can be as aggressive as he wants to be there. And Duke on the rebounding, slight rebounding edge to the Blue Devils, 34-32. Turnovers, 20 for the Blue Devils, 11 for Florida State. We've actually taken better care of the ball this half than we had last half, thankfully. As Duke's shooting now 7 of 16 from 3, 44%. Florida State 3 of 17, and Florida State shooting 12 of 19 at the free throw line. The 7 misses at the free throw line coming up big here in this game. Yeah. All right, coming out of the timeout, they're doing the promo here for the Baylor game. That is the next game on ESPN. That game coming up right after, I suppose when this one finishes. Number 1 Baylor down in Austin, Texas. Duke fans in chat nervous. We're all a little nervous. I think Cameron is nervous. There's this really bizarre. So like when you're in Cameron, like as a fan, you're supposed to support your team and kind of give them energy. But there's this bizarre thing that happens when like Cameron itself can get nervous and like people stop cheering because they're like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And it's it actually like works in a bizarre way because then like when Duke makes a shot, like Cameron goes crazy. And then Vassell hits this one, the assist there from Forrest as Vassell finishes in the paint. Florida State, good execution coming out of the timeout. 2-point margin for the Blue Devils. We just have to take care of the ball the last 4 minutes. I want to see 0 turnovers these next 4 minutes, Blue Devils. I want to see a shot on every possession. All right? Every possession should end with a shot. I don't care if it goes in or goes out. It's got to be a shot. I don't want to see turnovers. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 3:20 on the game clock. Trey Jones going to put up a tough mid-range shot off the front iron. Rebound down to Vernon Carey. Rebound to Vernon Carey who gets fouled. Going back on the way up. Vernon Carey pulls off a rebound in and amongst 4 Florida State players. Look at this. Here's the shot from Trey Jones. There's 4 Florida State players, and Vernon Carey still manages to get it, and he gets fouled. Oh, my goodness. Vernon Carey, we said, I bet Coach K challenged him on the toughness. And there he goes and misses the first free throw. I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it. But he missed the first free throw. Whew. All right, Vernon Carey now going to go for his second free throw, and Vernon Carey's second free throw is good, 62-59. The margin, 3 points for Duke with 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go. I feel like both teams the pace has really slowed down. The pace has really slowed down here. As we go, so Forrest there down in the paint, gives it up. Duke maybe with a steal. No, Wendell still chasing Florida State. 16 seconds on the shot clock here. Vassell gets this one over to Osborne. Osborne to Vassell. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Forrest now at the top. Forrest going to go from the ACC logo. Oh, he banks it home. Are you kidding me? What? What a cheap... God. Oh, Matty West, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Cameron Crazies. Thank you. All right, 2:28 to go. Cassius Stanley at the top. Wendell Moore now being guarded by Vassell. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Wendell gives it a Goldwire. Thought about the 3. 5 seconds. Goldwire in. The shot is deflected. The shot is deflected, but it goes in. Goldwire's shot goes after Florida State got a handle on it, and it still drops. Incredible. Boy, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but champions are both, chat. And right there, Jordan Goldwire got a little lucky. And foul on the floor as, wow, that is one heck of a mismatch there. Jordan Goldwire being matched up against Koprivica. Here, let's look at the replay. Check the replay here. Goldwire going in. Oh, just tipped. Just tipped. As Goldwire coming out of the game. Looks like Goldwire is fighting some cramps at the moment. And yeah, Goldwire's fighting some cramps at the moment, so he has gone to the line as Balsa. Koprivica misses the front end of the 1-and-1 with 2 minutes to go. Duke, a 3-point margin here. Welcoming in all the viewers here for the final 2 minutes of the game. The game has been close, back and forth throughout. Duke holding on to a 3-point margin here at home. Trey Jones getting the screen for Vernon Carey. Vernon Carey trying to roll down. 5 seconds. Trey Jones still going in. Trey Jones can't get it to go. Vernon Carey recovers it, and it's out on Florida State. A little bit of a mess there down low. Florida State did have possession of the ball, and we will go back to the monitor and review. Here it is, chat. Here's the replay. You call it. Here's Florida State. Hands it back in to Carey, and then that is ripped out of Carey's hands by Polite. This should absolutely be out of bounds to Duke. Cameron Crazy is getting the stand-up chat going, trying to get everybody in Cameron hyped. Here's the replay once again. Again, chat, you be the judge. This, to me, looks like Polite strips it, and as a result of him hitting the ball, it's going out. Should be out in Florida State. Though the refs right now are asking for an angle from the top, if they can see a top-down angle. I don't know how you could ever call this out on Carey. I've seen crazier stuff happen. I've seen crazier things happen, granted, but the call on the court, this is important, the call on the court was Duke ball. You have to have conclusive video evidence to overturn the call. There's no way that doesn't either prove it's out on Florida State or that there's conclusive video evidence that it's actually out on Carey. Granted, just like we did the other night in Chapel Hill, we will bring you the crazy. They're reversing any crazy plays that happen at the end of the game. We'll bring you those live so we're all in sync. Wow, they're reversing this call. That is total BS. Wow. They reverse the call, ball to Florida State. Unbelievable. This is silly. Florida State content to bring this ball up slowly here. Forrest tried to get it to Osborne. Gets it to Gray. Gray on Wendell. Wendell gives it to Osborne. Great help defense. Great recovery by Javin. Stops him dead in his tracks. That's to Walker. Walker getting it to Vassell. Vassell going to try for three. Front iron. Rebound to Florida State. Damn it. A great defensive possession by Duke. Rebound ends in the hands of Florida State. And Trey Jones gets hit as Forrest goes in. But no foul called. And now there is a foul called. Chat, you be the judge here on the replay if they give it to us. On Gray. So the foul is on Raekwon Gray. That is his fifth foul. See ya, as the Cameron Crazies would say. getting texts about the last play. I think some people are. I think we're actually decently ahead here. Javin DeLaurier going to the line to shoot free throws. It is a 1-1. Here it is, chat. The 1-1 by Javin is good. The front end of the 1-1 is good. 4-point margin for Duke. I gotta hand it to him. That is those free throws are clutch. Those free throws are clutch. Second of the two free throws here coming up for Javin. And Javin makes the second of the two free throws. That's it. That's what you want your captain, to step up to the line and make free throws. 5-point game. Forrest driving in. Oh, and Javin almost blocked it. And the putback by Florida State. Wow. Nobody boxed them out. 3-point margin now for Florida State. Another tense game. Here, this is the play here by Florida State. Forrest driving in. Javin hits it off, but you've got to be kidding me. How lucky does Florida State need to be? How lucky does Florida State need to be? Yeah, God. Okay. Take the opportunity to welcome in all the folks in chat tonight. It's been a tense game. Thank you for everybody who's been hanging out throughout the entire broadcast. Cameron Crazies, Duke Nation has showed up once again tonight. Thank you so much. We have 45 seconds left in a 3-point game. A game for second place in the ACC. This is all you get asked for here. The game in Cameron. Duke looking for its second big win in as many games here. Duke now going to inbound off the Florida State make. Florida State playing full court defense. I believe Florida State will play this out the whole way. Inbound is to Trey Jones as Florida State tries to go full court press, and Duke manages to get the ball in the front court. Let's go the rest of the way here. Cassius Stanley over to Trey Jones. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 30 seconds on the game clock. 15 now. Wendell at the top. No, this is Trey Jones. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Trey just being 9 seconds. Trey, you got to go, buddy. Screen by Wendell. Roll. 6 seconds on the shot clock. 5. Trey going to take it himself. Blocked by Florida State to Wendell Moore. Wendell Moore. That rebound is going to go to Matthew Hurt with a massive rebound. And it gets fouled. That's it. Nicely done by Duke. And the ref is calling a cylinder violation, and that is the foul against Florida State. Let's check the replay. There's the deflection out to Wendell. It's a crazy shot, but he had to put it off because there was no time left on the shot clock. Wow. Now Matthew Hurt, the freshman, with 11.7 seconds left in the game. I don't actually know what they're calling here. Hold on. I thought this. Let me check the play-by. I thought this play-by-play is a foul against Florida State. I don't know. Yeah, it should be a foul on Trent Forrest of Florida State. They're reviewing this though. Matthew Hurt now at the free throw line, the freshman with 11.7 seconds left to go in the game. 2 for 2 so far tonight. Hurt, the first of the two free throws, does make it. Remember, This is not a shooting foul, and it is not the double bonus. That is an and one. Not not an and one. That is a 1-and-1. Wow, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Hurt for the second of the 2 free throws. That says it all. That's all I need to say. That's it. Clutch it up, baby. Let's go, Blue Devils. Duke, up by 5. 11.7 seconds to go. Florida State now inbounding the ball. Florida State going to drive. Florida State hands it off. Florida State off the front iron. Can't get it to go. The putback is good. Timeout. Timeout, Florida State Seminoles, with 3.4 to go. Okay, chat. Let's not go crazy here. I've seen crazier things have happened, but the worst they could do is tie this game. All right? The worst they can do is tie this thing. I am feeling decently okay about this because Duke is going to inbound the ball. Florida State's going to try to steal it. They have to foul immediately. And actually, what may end up happening here is if I'm Coach K, I may actually be drawing up a play to try to inbound this ball into the front court where you can do like a Leitner type pass, because what happens is even if Florida State were to intercept this ball in the front court on the Duke side, they only have 3.4 seconds. They would have to come the whole rest of the way across and then take a desperation 3 probably around midcourt. So let's see if there's actually a play here for somebody to cut deep. And there's Cassius Stanley trying to inbound. Jordan Goldwire went deep. No, but they're just going to give it to Matthew Hurt. Matthew Hurt is going to get fouled. All right, so Matthew Hurt going to get fouled on that one. And now, yes, this is the double bonus. Took just one, yeah. Duke here, this Matthew Hurt will go back to the line to shoot another 2 clutch free throws. Matthew gets the first to go. 4-point game. And in order for there to be absolutely no funny business later tonight, Matthew Hurt for the second one. And with 2.4 seconds to go in the game, Florida State will inbound. Coach K says, don't even think about touching him. Oh, that almost went down. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Duke is going to take the win over 8th-ranked Florida State off of less than 48 hours after the crazy, crazy game in Chapel Hill. Duke now with the 4 straight wins. Actually, I think it's more than that. But anyway, a tough win here at home after a quick turnaround. This is the type of toughness you wanted to see by our Blue Devils. It was not a pretty game. There were way too many turnovers. Credit to the Florida State Seminoles for causing a lot of those turnovers. Trent Forrest played phenomenally well tonight. He had a great game and career high in steals for him. However, Duke is going to take this one, so we are a very happy Duke Nation, and that is going to be it as far as the broadcast tonight. Baylor and Texas is the next game on ESPN. We are going to go back and cut some highlights of the game that we just watched. Yes, absolutely. Clutch free throws. 4 clutch free throws down the stretch by Matthew Hurt, who had a rebound game of sorts after putting up a goose egg at Carolina. Not his best game there, but he played exceptionally well tonight. Great to see that effort from Matthew Hurt. Great to see the effort all around by our Blue Devils. And now that is it. So we will be back here live on stream doing this again for our Saturday game against Notre Dame. Let me just take a quick check at the calendar. That game against Notre Dame is at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. It is once again in Cameron at home. Make sure to drop a subscribe and drop a like on the channel. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging around. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat, whether you were lurking in the chat, whether you the subs tonight. Much appreciated to everybody. Let's go, Duke. Go to Hell Carolina, just because we have to say that at the end of every broadcast. And thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out on the broadcast. For all of us here at Real Life Sports, this is Ritz signing off another spectacular Duke win, as every W is a great one for the Blue Devils. Go Duke.